If I wanted to impact the United States election, we are going to read some emails from Donald Trump because millions of Americans, including some of your relatives, likely believe that they are personally in contact with and speaking to Donald Trump. So this one says it's our anniversary and that it's like worried about me, and you can never get out of it because after it is sent to you, they change the email address, so there's really no way to subscribe. All of these are from the same week in November. I've been doing this undercover to kind of collect data and evidence for a while. Please, I'm worried about you. It always has his signature. It will always say things like, oh, your name came across my desk. And you could read more about that here. Other links to support my content and bio. I'm then going to play you a clip, but I do have to tell you something very important. Part of the reason I've been documenting this is because the only way to end this is to look at it for what it is, and that is something criminal that needs to be viewed outside of the lens of the FEC. Because as long as we rely on the FEC, they're just going to say, well, this is just FEC jurisdiction, but we've already seen that not hold up in court, and they have been made to give refunds and some people accountable. So the album where I show all of these different mailers over years, how they turned up the heat and used different messaging for different people, is available on Substack, but it's also linked in the main article. I'm no longer really leaning into creations so much, and I'm doing this on my spare time, but I do try to add every day. But the most important thing to know here is that because they send different messaging to different people based on ideology, we need to know that this is happening to us on the left too, but by the right. Now I'm going to play a clip from about a year and a half ago. Use conflicts from overseas to do it, and if I were one of the organizations that for 30 years or more have manipulated United States politics using strategy, I would be very aware that the left doesn't have a strategy. I would be aware that they don't lose because they don't have support in facts, but because they don't have strategy, the same strategy that I've been using. I would know that through manipulation tactics, the Overton window has moved so far right that the left feels right as well. I would know that this makes voters apathetic, and the more people that vote would be bad for me. I would know that every person that doesn't vote is in fact a vote for me to even further move the Overton window to the right. I would understand that the only strategy that the left has is to get as many people to vote as possible. Of course, I would use decades of voter suppression in order to make less people vote, but a more sinister strategy would be when a major world event happens that might actually encourage that side to vote, I would watch very carefully in the world of social media the way that event is being perceived. Initially, I would try to do something like maybe ban the platform that this information is being spread on, but then I would look at the analytics and see what the response is. This would be an automatic win for me. I would be privy to the fact that Americans are very bad at the way they perceive black and brown suffering around the world, that many of them will soon move on, and the ones that fight will do things like boycott. I would run analytics on boycotting and see how many people are passionate enough to actually choose not to participate in a system like capitalism. I would then conflate capitalism with democracy. I would bank on their apathy and also the righteous rage, because both of those result in less voters, and I already said that less voters means that my side is won. And the most sinister part of all of this is the people not voting would think it was their idea. The added benefit, given the information I would know if I were these organizations, is that there are issues in people down the ballot, issues in people that I've actually spent more time, money, and resources on, because that's where these policies actually come from. And among all the terrible policies that I would be able to pass, perhaps the most powerful one of all would be that I would be able to, in the next 4 years, pass even more voter suppression laws. So that in 4 years, if they change their mind, it's going to be so much harder for them to organize and to get the numbers they need to have any success whatsoever. And in that 4 years, I will move the Overton window even farther right. And the farther right it is, the less they're going to think that they want to participate. And all of the surveys and literature that I have sent to individuals to radicalize them and spread misinformation, I would understand that my resources would be far better utilized identifying influencers and their analytics and slowly grooming them to do the same.